Have you ever found out the person you trusted most was lying to you? I did, and it changed my life forever. I was a shy and quiet student in high school, always trying to avoid attention. But there was one person who made my life miserable, a bully named Sophia. She would constantly mock me, push me around, and make fun of my clothes. I tried to ignore her, but it was hard. One day, she did something that ruined my prom night. I had been looking forward to it for weeks, and I finally gathered the courage to ask my crush to be my date. But Sophia had other plans. She spread a rumor that my date was actually her boyfriend, and that I was trying to steal him away from her. My date believed her, and he stood me up on prom night. I was heartbroken. 20 years later, I walked into my own cafe and saw Sophia serving coffee to my customers. I couldn't believe it. The girl who ruined my prom night was now serving me coffee in my own cafe. What was she doing here? And why was she working for me? As I stood there, trying to process what I was seeing, Sophia looked up and caught my eye. For a moment, we just stared at each other, the past hanging in the air between us. I could feel my heart racing, and my mind was flooded with memories of the pain she had caused me. But then, something unexpected happened. Sophia smiled, and it was like no time had passed at all. She seemed to be genuinely happy to see me, and she came over to give me a hug. I was taken aback, and I didn't know how to react. Part of me wanted to push her away, to tell her that I still hated her for what she had done. But another part of me was curious what had brought her to my cafe, and why was she being so friendly. As we hugged, I couldn't help but notice that Sophia looked different. She was still beautiful, but there was something worn and tired about her. She had lines under her eyes, and her hair was no longer the shiny blonde it used to be. I wondered what had happened to her, and why she was working in my cafe. Over the next few days, I watched Sophia from afar, trying to get a sense of what she was like now. She was still confident and outgoing, but there was a vulnerability to her that I had never seen before. She was kind to the customers, and she worked hard, always making sure that everyone had what they needed. I found myself starting to like her, despite everything she had done to me in the past. But then, I started to notice that something was off. Sophia seemed to be hiding something, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she was up to no good. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself growing more and more suspicious of Sophia. She seemed to be hiding something, and I was determined to find out what it was. I started to notice that she would often disappear during her breaks, and she would come back looking nervous and on edge. I wondered if she was in some kind of trouble, and if she was using my cafe as a way to escape. One day, I decided to follow her and see where she was going. I trailed behind her, trying not to be seen, as she walked through the streets of the city. She led me to a run-down apartment building, and she disappeared inside. I waited for a few minutes, wondering what to do next. And then, I saw her come out, looking more nervous than ever. She was talking to someone on the phone, and her voice was shaking. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but it sounded like she was in trouble. As I watched, a car pulled up, and a man got out. He was tall and menacing, and he looked like he meant business. Sophia saw him, and she started to back away, looking scared. And then, everything clicked into place. I realized that Sophia was in debt to this man, and that she was working in my cafe to pay him back. I felt a surge of anger and protectiveness, and I knew that I had to do something to help her. But as I stepped forward, the man turned to me, and our eyes met. I knew that I was in trouble, and that my life was about to change forever. The man's eyes were cold and hard, and they seemed to bore into my soul. I could feel my heart racing, and my mind was flooded with fear. But as I looked into his eyes, I saw something there that gave me courage. I saw a glimmer of recognition, and I knew that he knew me. And then, it clicked: this was the man who had been bullying me in high school, the man who had made my life miserable. He was Sophia's debt collector, and he was the one who had been making her life hell. I felt a surge of anger, and I knew that I had to stand up to him. I took a step forward, and I looked him straight in the eye. "You're not going to hurt her anymore," I said, my voice shaking with rage. The man sneered at me, but I could see the fear behind his eyes. He knew that I was not the same person I had been in high school, and he knew that I would not back down. And then, Sophia spoke up, her voice trembling. "I'm sorry," she said. "I was wrong to bully you, and I'm sorry for the pain I caused you." I looked at her, and I saw the tears in her eyes. I knew that she was genuinely sorry, and that she had changed. And in that moment, I forgave her. I forgave her for everything, and I knew that I would help her to get out of this situation. It's been a year since that day, and Sophia is no longer in debt. She's still working in my cafe, but now she's a partner, and we're working together to build a successful business. We've become close friends, and I've learned to see her in a new light. She's not the same person she was in high school, and I'm grateful for that. I've learned that people can change, and that forgiveness is possible. And I've also learned that sometimes, the people who hurt us the most can become the people we help the most. As for the man who was bullying Sophia, he's no longer in the picture. He's been dealt with, and Sophia is finally free. I'm glad that I was able to help her, and I'm grateful for the lesson I learned. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it's always worth it. And sometimes, it can lead to the most unexpected and beautiful friendships.